thank you for joining us this evening. Such disturbing news to hear about this and to actually see this unfold, hearkening back to what happened all of those decades ago.
Good evening, Laila Tov. Very sorry to be here to tell our story. I was at the game yesterday and it was a fantastic atmosphere. And I went home, went to bed late, and this morning I was awoken by the president of Karen HaYesod, Sam Grunberg, and asked me how I was. And I didn't know because I didn't hear any news. I saw my opening of my WhatsApp and then so many messages. My son is active in the group of youngsters to protect the synagogues, the schools here, and they were immediately awakened and came to the center which Maccabi started to help everybody who could possibly be hiding somewhere, took them with cars to this place, and from there looked how they could go back to the airport. It's a horrible, horrible Black Day in Amsterdam, which started already after October 7th. We had the opening of the Holocaust Museum in Amsterdam in March, where Herzog was opening and welcomed by us in Amsterdam, but unfortunately a lot of people didn't like him to be here, and then the riot started. And
wow.
It's very difficult. We can't say that because they think it's discrimination, but most of it's North African descendants who are living in Amsterdam, who are Moroccans, and who are having their app groups trying to join together and make something which Hamas did last year in Israel, try to duplicate it here as well. It's really awful.
It's just got to be so disturbing that here you are, in a city that is, beloved by so many, obviously famous for, so much. But, we heard the woman before saying she's got to hide and they're afraid to speak Hebrew. And it just gives you chills because it just harkens back to the story of Anne Frank, of course, the notable story of Anne Frank there. But, I mean, do you feel nervous walking around the streets? If something like this could happen so easily in mass, what about, just every regular day walking around Amsterdam if you're a Jew?
No. Maybe some years ago, my wife said, I think I'm not going to wear my Magen David openly anymore because you never know. But since October 7, I don't care and she doesn't care. And of course, you've got to be careful. But listen, we are proud Jews. We are not hiding. Unfortunately, my parents and my grandparents had to hide in the last century, and most of my family, of course, didn't survive the war. My parents were lucky to do, but I'm not going to hide anymore. And a lot of my friends also said we don't. But in an Uber taxi, where a lot of Moroccans are there, I'm quiet. I'm not openly saying that I'm a Jew or whatever. So I'm not very scared, but
you don't want to cause trouble you're circumspect is, I guess, the right word. Rob Voet, thank you very much for joining us and sharing your perspective. A very, very disturbing event, like you said. And please take care of your community, and we're wishing you all the best from here.
Am Yisrael Chai.
Am Yisrael Chai. Bye. We're now joined live in studio by Daniel Sheck, former Israeli ambassador to France and the director of diplomacy for the Hostage and Missing Family Forum, as well as I-24 News correspondent Joe Brown. Good evening to both of you. First of all, Daniel, your reaction here. You've spent a whole career in diplomacy. We know the history of, Holland and the Jews, and to see something like this happen in 2024 in a major city in Europe is very disturbing.
Well, honestly, you can't believe your eyes and ears, or rather, you wouldn't want to believe your eyes and ears, but the images are there, and you see what's happening. There's going to be a lot of reckoning to be done in the Netherlands, and a lot of questions to be asked. The source of these riots are known. It's a community that has a history of friction with the Jewish community and with Israelis, not only in the Netherlands, but all across Europe. in France, in Belgium, in many other countries. But that's a given. I mean, so if that's a given, then the authorities should be able to predict such events when they happen. And if they didn't, and honestly, I mean, luckily there were no serious injuries and no real victims. But the most shocking thing is the way the authorities, I mean, the police behaved. It's just inexplicable. So there, I hope that the many reactions by the political leadership in the Netherlands, Prime Minister, royal family, the mayor of Amsterdam, and all of those, that will be translated into a real investigation of how the police acted and why.
Right.